Olá pessoal, muito boa noite, sejam muito bem-vindos a mais uma live. Hoje, na sexta-feira, a live é voltada para os alunos que já têm uma prática no inglês e querem aprimorar. E nas quartas-feiras é com o professor Valber, para os alunos iniciantes que estão começando o aprendizado da língua e querem praticar ainda mais. Nas últimas lives a gente tem sorteado um livro em todas as lives. Hoje não é diferente. O livro que a gente vai sortear é o The Invisible Man. Não sei se dá pra ver. Esse livro foi usado como base para o livro ou para o filme que foi lançado esse ano, de mesmo nome, The Invisible Man. O livro, como é para alunos com mais prática no inglês, ele tem mais palavras, ele é ilustrado também, e no final tem um glossário para algumas palavras que vocês possam ter dificuldades e alguns exercícios. E também ele veio com um audiobook, então para participar basta colocar I want to participate on the chat e no final da live a gente vai sortear, ok? Vamos começar? Let's start. Okay, so today's live meeting is about sayings. Okay, sayings is a very big part of the American culture, and also every culture has sayings or proverbs. Let's see what they mean, and I'll give you some examples in Portuguese for you to make the connection between these two languages, okay? So, what are sayings? A saying is a short expression that generally contains advice or wisdom from one's culture, okay? So, for example, in Portuguese, let me see the comments here. Oh, hello, Monica. Hello. Aissa, Vitória. Good evening. Hi, Isabelle. Good evening. So, what are sayings? They are sentences, small sentences, short sentences that have some knowledge behind it. For example, in Portuguese, we have é melhor pássaro na mão do que dois voando. Or dois coelhos com a cajadada só. So, they do not have this literal meaning, but they have a meaning behind. For example, the first one about the birds, it's better to have one than nothing at all. Or do one thing and have two goals achieved. So these are sayings. Okay, let's go to our first one. Back to square one. Back to square one. Can you imagine? Can you guess what it means? Let's see some pictures to try to guess by ourselves. Okay. So we have here these games. So we have hopscotch. It's a very popular game for children, and Monopoly. So these two games, they have squares. Okay, so square one is the beginning. So back to square one is when you come back to the start. For what does it mean? Back to where when a person started, with no progress being made. So, for example, you have a plan, you do your things, but they don't go well. So you have to come back to the start and try to readjust your plans. So back to square one. Okay, let's see some examples in movies and TV shows.
There we are, back to square one.
We're back to square one.
Oh, God. Back to square one.
So we're back to square one. Only now we are all wanted by the CIA.
No, we're back to square one.
Guys, we're back to square one.
Then next month we're back to square one.
Okay, so back to square one is when you have to start again because something went wrong. So if you were planning to travel, but for some reason the hotel had problems, so you had to start again. You had to find a new hotel, you had to find new tickets, so back to square one. Okay, let's see the next one. I see a lot of people on the chat. Hello, Ítalo. Hello, Eduardo. Ana Carla, good evening. Ruchi and Larissa, good evening, guys. Marcos and Marivaldo, too. Welcome. Okay, let's continue. And Davi as well. Yes, Davi. Good evening, Davi. Two peas in a pod. Can you guess what is it? Do you know what peas are and a pod? Let's see. So peas are these legumes, like these vegetables, this little green stuff, and pod is the like the envelope that they come inside. So two peas in a pod. So how do we use this saying? Let's see. It is used to say that two people or two things are very similar to each other. It's also used to describe people that are very close to each other, like friends or a couple. So, for example, me and my best friend, oh, we go out together all the time. We have the same likes and dislikes. We are always together, so we are like two peas in a pod, okay? Two peas in a pod. So as you can see in the picture, the peas are very together in a pod, okay? Because it's a small space and a lot of peas. So that's the origin of it. Two peas in a pod. Let's see some examples.
Peas in a pod for a long time now.
I've like two peas in a pod.
Two peas in a pod.
Like two peas in a pod, we did everything together.
They were two peas in a pod.
Seems like we're two peas in a pod.
Okay, two peas in a pod. That's another saying, and these are very important part of the American culture. Sayings and proverbs. It's actually a very important part of the culture itself. So if you want to improve your language, if you want to improve how you immerse yourself in a language, learning these expressions and the sayings and proverbs that they use, it's a really important part to feel included. Okay, so let's see the next one. The next one is quite common. Let's see. A piece of cake. A piece of cake. Okay, so we have here three options. What does it mean? Something delicious, something easy, something beautiful. Which one do you think it is? A, something delicious, a piece of cake. B, something easy. Or C, something beautiful. Can you write on the chat what do you think the answer is? Something delicious, easy, or beautiful? A piece of cake. Okay, let me see. I'm checking the chat. Hi Antonio. Good evening. Hi Evelyn. Hi Italo, Vittorio. Good evening. Can you guys guess what it is? Yes, Mayara. Yes, something easy. So, a piece of cake. So, for example, oh, I like numbers. So, math is a piece of cake for me. Or, oh, I like English. English is a piece of cake. Let's see some examples.
It's a piece of cake.
So once you get over the first fear, it's a piece of cake.
Now, once we get down the shaft, though, then it's a piece of cake.
Okay, it's a piece of cake. So can you guys give me examples of things that are a piece of cake for you? For example, me, math. I really like numbers, so math is a piece of cake. Computers like fixing computers and dealing with computers, it's a piece of cake for me. And also English. So can you write on the chat what is a piece of cake for you? Let's see the next one. Barking up the wrong tree. Barking up the wrong tree. So barking is the sound of what the dog says, like the sound that dogs make, to bark. And to bark up a tree. So can you guess what it means to bark up the wrong tree? Let's see an example of in a conversation to see if you can figure it out. Yeah. Okay. So I heard you were gossiping about me. Oh, you're barking up the wrong tree. I don't even know you. Barking up the wrong tree. Can you guess its meaning? Let's see. So, trying to do something in a way that will not work, especially when you are wrong. So, when you are complaining about something to a person that is not going to fix anything, like you go to the bank and you start yelling at someone, and the person will say like, "Oh, it's not. I can't solve this. It's not my problem. Like, I can't deal with this. You're barking, you're making noise, you're arguing with the wrong person. You're barking up the wrong tree. Like, go try to solve this with someone else. Barking up the wrong tree." Okay? Let's see the next one. Too many cooks spoil the broth. Okay, you have a lot of words here that might be a little different. So, first of all, cooks in this situation is the person who cooks. It's similar to a chef, okay? But a chef it's more professional kind of thing. But you can also use a cook. So, a cook is a person who cooks. These people here, like you have 5 cooks. To spoil is to make something go bad. So, when food goes over its expiration date, you have spoiled food. It went bad. And too many cooks spoil the broth. Broth, it's a kind of soup. So it's almost literal. This sentence is like too many people cooking makes the soup go bad. But can you understand the meaning behind this? Let's check its meaning. So, if too many people are involved in a task, if too many people are doing something, it will not be done well. So we have something similar in Brazil that it's something like muito cacique para pouco índio. So it's basically like when there are too many people trying to do the same thing or trying to decide. So if too many people are doing it, it's not going to be done well because they are not focused. They are going to argue with each other, as you can see in the photo. Too many cooks trying to cook the soup, it's going to be bad, okay? So it's also common to say too many cooks in the kitchen and just too many cooks. Like when you see when you're in a situation that you just see that something's like too many people make decisions, you can comment like, "Oh, there are too many cooks here," or "too many cooks in the kitchen," or the original one, "too many cooks spoil the broth." Okay, so if you are in a situation with a lot of people arguing and trying to decide something, you can say, "Ah, there are too many cooks here." Let's see the next one. It's also related to food. And this one is actually very similar to one. It's actually the same one in Portuguese. So, cry over spilled milk. Can you see here in the picture? Cry over spilled milk. Do you understand its meaning? I think you do because it's very similar to Portuguese. Let's check. So, okay. To waste time feeling sorry about an earlier mistake or problem that cannot be changed. Okay, so what does it mean? So if something it went wrong and you are complaining, you're feeling sad about it, so you shouldn't cry over spilled milk. You shouldn't cry. You shouldn't feel sad about something that happened in the past and you cannot change. It's in the past. Okay, just remembering that every Wednesday is for the lives are for students who are beginners, who are learning, who are starting to learn the language, and on Fridays our lives are for students who already have more practice on the language and just want to improve even more. Okay, let me see the chat with people. Yeah, everybody was correct. Like, hi. It was letter B, something easy. Let's see the next one. A watched pot never boils. A watched pot never boils. So you can see the object there. That's a pot. Yes, used to cook food. And so a watched pot never boils. To boil is when the water reaches 100 degree and starts to make it starts to make bubbles. So that's to boil. So a watched pot never boils. Can you guess what it means? A watched pot never boils. Let's see. It means that time seems to move more slowly when one is anticipating something or waiting for something to occur, to happen. So I think this happens to a lot of people. When you are really anxious about something, you're really waiting something to happen, and you are waiting there and it takes forever, but you feel like it's taking forever because you're paying so much attention to that. So that's what the saying means, like watched pot never boils, because if you're trying to, if you're paying attention too much on something, time will feel like it's passing slowly, it's moving slowly than usually. Okay, so a watched pot never boils. Let's do the next one. Birds of a feather flock together. Birds of a feather flock together. Okay, so a feather is like the hair of the verbs of the birds. So for example, in the picture here you can see that their feathers are pink, and to flock it can be the verb to be in group, or a group of birds. It's called a flock. So birds of a feather flock together. What does it mean? People of the same sort, of the same kind, of the same type, or with the same tastes and interests will be found together. So there is one in Portuguese that's very similar, but I don't remember. But basically saying that people that are alike, people that are similar to each other, they tend to be in groups. So you tend to be friends, you tend to be acquaintances with people that you know, and that you have similar tastes with, that are similar to you. So that's birds of a feather flock together. So when a person is always with someone, it tends to mean that they are similar to each other. Okay, so birds of a feather flock together. Okay, let's see the next one. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Okay, so chickens in this situation can be a little chick, like the small one, and to hatch is when the egg breaks and the little chick comes out. So that's to hatch. And we also have something in Portuguese, but I'm not gonna say it because it's not very pretty. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. So what does it mean? You should not make plans that depend on something happening before you know that it has happened. So if you're making plans, if you're dreaming about things that you're making plans with things that you're not sure about it. So you use this sentence: don't count your chickens before they hatch. So for example, you're going to study, a new course, and you're like, I will study this, I'm going to be a very good student, and etc. And then but you haven't passed, you haven't been approved yet. So a friend or someone can tell you, don't count your chickens before they hatch. Like, don't make so many plans before you already have been approved. That's this don't count your chickens before they hatch. And it has a very similar one in Portuguese as well. Yeah. Hi Julia Mendes. Hi Juliana. Good evening. Yes, just remember, in a few moments we're going to to give away the book, The Invisible Man. So you only have to put on the chat, I want to participate, and soon we're going to be giving away this book. Okay. Hello, Misael. Hello, Haza. Good evening. Let's see here, the next one. It's actually related to chickens as well. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Can you guess its meaning? You can see like the person with all his eggs, all the eggs from the chickens on only one basket. What does it mean? You should not concentrate all your efforts. You should not concentrate all your efforts, like everything you do and everything you have and resources, in one area, as one could lose everything. So it's like, don't put everything you have in just one thing. Don't put like everything all your money or all your time in just one thing, because that thing might not work. So it's like, it means like have more possibilities, have more options, because if you if you put all your eggs in one basket, you might walk and fall and break all your eggs. So that's the connection there. Like if you put everything that you have, all your time, all your work in only one thing, that thing might not work, and you will have a bad ending. Yes. So that's what it means. Don't put your eggs in one basket. And to practice all of these sayings, I brought some exercises here. Okay. Here. So I have all the sayings that we studied today, that we saw. Back to square one, 2 peas in a pod, a piece of cake, barking up the wrong tree, too many cooks spoil the broth, cry over spilled milk, a watched pot never boils, birds of a feather flock together, don't count your chickens before they hatch, and don't put all your eggs in one basket. And here we have a situation that you can use one of these sayings. So the guy asks, can you format my computer? And the other, I can do that in 15 minutes. Can you guess which one do you think fits the best in this situation? Can you write on the chat which saying fits the best in this situation? I can do that in 15 minutes. Let me check on the... Yes, Marcos, yes, Annalise. That's a piece of cake. That's easy. I can do that in 15 minutes. That's very, very easy for me. So can you format my computer? That's a piece of cake. I can do that in 15 minutes. Yes, exactly. Great, Aisa. Yes, Julia. Yes. Let's see the next one. I think I'll buy a new car tomorrow because my boss told me she'll give me a raise. And the guy's like, I think I'll buy a new car tomorrow because my boss told me she'll give me a raise. So what do you think which one do you think is the best saying that will fit this? Can you write on the chat? Yes. I think I'll buy a new car tomorrow because my boss told me she'll give me a raise. Is that difficult? Let's see. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. So what does he mean? He's like, don't buy a new car now because she's going to give you a raise. In the future, you're not sure about it. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she won't give you. So don't make such big plans to buy a new car if it's not something sure. By the way, a raise is when you have a salary, and usually because you're a good employee, a good worker, you receive a raise. So your salary increases. So he's saying like, wait, don't do this because you're not sure. Don't buy a new car. Wait until she'll give you a raise and then you buy it. So don't count your chickens before they hatch. Okay? Let's see the next one. I'm sad because I lost my wallet yesterday. And he says, "Ah, no need to. There is nothing you can do about it now." Can you guess? Not can you answer which saying is the best one? I'm sad because I lost my wallet yesterday. Ah, no need to. There is nothing you can do about it now. Can you write on the chat? Let's see. No need to cry over spilled milk. There is nothing you can do about it now. Like, don't cry about it because it's in the past. What can you do? You cannot change the past. So no need to cry. Yes, Antonio. Yes, Aisa. Very good. Yes, Marcos. Yes. Yes, Alicia. Great. So no need to cry over spilled milk. There is nothing you can do about it now. Like, it's in the past. You won't change anything. So don't be sad about it. Yes, move on. Okay. Hi, Nicole. Good evening. Hi, Eduardo. Yes, Eduardo. Yeah. Congrats. I'm investing my savings in bitcoins. And the guy's like, bitcoins are very unstable. And you might lose your money. So he's investing his money, his savings in bitcoins. And the guy's like, bitcoins are very unstable. You might lose your money. What do you guys think? Can you write on the chat? Let me see. Let me check. Let's see. Oh, I went back. Okay. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Yes, Marcus, correct. So, he's like, okay, do it, invest it, but don't put all your money in that because it's dangerous. You might lose your money. So do not invest all your savings in just one thing. Okay. So like, be cautious. Have more options. Yes, guys. Yes. Yes, Julia. Very good. Aisa, yes. And Alicia, very good. Hi, Nicole. Good evening. Yes, Antonio. That's correct. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like, don't put everything that you have in just one option. Yes. Let's see the next one. It's been a week that I'm waiting an email from my interviewer. And he's like, you're too anxious. You should stop thinking about it too much. What do you think it is? You're too anxious. You should stop thinking about it too much. Can you write on the chat? Let's see. A watched pot never boils. Like, if you are thinking about it all the time, if you spend all your time thinking about it and worrying about it, it will feel like it's been forever. Like, let it there and you will receive an email. Don't think about it too much. Don't pay attention to that so much. So a watched pot never boils. Very good, guys. Very good. Yeah. And here, the last 5 ones. Let's see. So we have here the last ones. Back to square one. 2 peas in a pod. Barking up the wrong tree. Too many cooks spoil the broth. And birds of a feather flock together. And we have the meanings under it. Okay. So, very close friends. People tend to be close to similar people. A lot of people doing the same thing. Start again. And being wrong about something. So, let's try to match. The first one, back to square one. Can you guys tell me what does it mean? Which one of these squares is the answer? Back to square one. I'm watching on the chat. Let's see. Let's check. So, start again. Yes. So if you have plans and they don't succeed, but you want to continue, you come back to square one. You go back to square one, and you start all over again. Yes. So back to square one. Okay. Just remember, in a few minutes we're going to give away the book, The Invisible Man. Yes. The only thing that you have to do is to write on the chat, I want to participate. Okay? Let's go to the next one. 2 peas in a pod. 2 peas in a pod. What is the answer for that? What does 2 peas in a pod mean? Yes, guys, start again. Yes. So, 2 peas in a pod. What does it mean? Let's check that. Did I click? Oh, sorry. Very close friends. Yes, Julia. I gave the answer to the other one. So, 2 peas in a pod. Very close friends. So, when you have, you're very close to someone, it can also be like your sister or your husband, your wife. 2 peas in a pod. Like when you're very close to a person, not just friends, you can say, we're like 2 peas in a pod. We're very close to each other. Barking up the wrong tree. Can you guys guess the meaning? I mistakenly showed it, but anyway, let's check. Being wrong about something. So, barking up the wrong tree. So you're complaining, you're talking about to the wrong person or to the wrong thing. So barking up the wrong tree. So if you go to, I don't know, to a store because you bought a shirt and it has a problem, and you go there and you complain to a person and to someone who works there, to a salesperson, and he says, you're barking up the wrong tree. You have to go to the manager, not me. I won't solve this problem. That's barking up the wrong tree. Okay. The next one. I gave the answer again. Too many cooks spoil the broth. So a lot of people doing the same thing. So when too many people are doing the same thing at the same time, you will be usually a confusion. They are going to try to decide, and they will have different ideas. So it might be have a bad outcome, a bad ending. Okay, and the last one, birds of a feather flock together. People tend to be close to similar people. So people who are similar to you usually are friends and are close to people that are similar to you. Okay, now. Now we're going to give away the book. Okay, I'll just talk with Valber, who is helping me to make the sort para fazer o sorteio. Vamos lá. Yes, guys. Yes. Let's see. Vamos ver o sorteio. Ok. Aqui os nomes das pessoas. Luana Pimenta. Hi Luana. Good evening. Yes. Então vamos lá, vamos ver quem ganhou o livro, quem vai ganhar o livro The Invisible Man, ok? Ok, Aissa Vitória. Congratulations, Aissa. Ok, acabou de ganhar o livro The Invisible Man. Agora basta você mandar as informações para o e-mail da escola. A gente vai escrever no chatzinho o e-mail que você tem que mandar. É só você mandar. Ganhei o livro na sexta-feira e mandar as informações para que a gente possa mandar o livro para vocês, ok? Por hoje é só, gente. Lembrando que na próxima quarta-feira é com o professor Valber. As aulas são mais voltadas para os alunos iniciantes que estão começando agora a aprender o inglês. E sexta-feira que vem é comigo para os alunos que têm mais prática no idioma e querem melhorar ainda mais, ok? Bye guys, have a good weekend and see you next week.